They arrived in Jerusalem looking for the newborn king.
Where is the one who has been born the King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east, and we have come to worship him.
Give me a minute. What is this about a king? Is this a Messiah? Tell me what you know about where this Messiah is to be born.
It has to be in Bethlehem.
The prophet Micah said it had to be in Bethlehem many years ago.
Go and make a careful search for the child. Report to me as soon as you have found him, so I can go and worship him.
You know, in my land, they consider me as one who should be honored. And they thought it was quite strange that I would go on this journey. I was born of noble birth. I am wealthy, educated, and influential. Some outside my land have even called me a magician, and that couldn't be further from the truth, although I am a philosopher and a counselor of the realm who is familiar with all the wisdom of the ancient East. But no, I am not one who should be honored. I humble myself and have come here to worship this child, the Messiah. You see, I also studied the scrolls of the Hebrews, and I knew about the promise of the Messiah. Then one day I saw his star in the sky, and I followed it. I did not know what my destination would be, but here I am rewarded beyond all measure. And now that I found this Messiah, I have found the true meaning of living, and I would not give that up for anyone. But now I must go. And God has warned me not to return to Herod. I will honor God and not man, so I will return by a different route. I must go now. Praise God for this blessing.
It's not about the shepherds or the bright
Christmas story, it really tells us a lot about God, about how He is. In fact, you could say that Christmas is putting a face on God. If you've got something really important you want to say to somebody that's very important to you, how do you go about telling that person? And today there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. You can send an email, you can pick up a phone, you might write a letter, you could text the person, contact them by a video conference. If you were really creative and had a lot of money, you could rent a billboard by their house. That would be pretty neat. But if it was really important to you, and you knew it was going to be important to them, what would you do? You'd go over, get in your car, and you would go to that person personally and tell them. Because that's what close relationships are all about. That's what defines friendships. That's what defines family. People together. They think about Christmas. What does God do? God doesn't stay at a distance and say, you know, this is what I'm like. He doesn't send us down a mass email that goes to 6 billion people and say, well, let me tell you about myself. What does God do? He comes to us. And He shows us Himself. And He doesn't do it in a way that's just faceless. In the calm of that stable, a voice comes out to you, your name. He says, I want you to know me. And I want to know you. He just doesn't say that, though. He proves it to us. If somebody gets involved in your life in a tough time, that really says a lot about that person. Especially if you're having a problem and that person isn't part of the whole situation, but he or she comes from the outside, gets involved in your life, takes the risk of spending time and money and effort to really help you through it. That tells you that that individual is committed to you. What does God do for us at Christmas? God doesn't come to study the human race. He doesn't hold a bunch of seminars. He doesn't do research projects. He lives. He lives like we live. One of my favorite parts of the Bible is one of the more different parts. It's the first 30 years of Jesus. People ask me all the time, what did Jesus do during the first 30 years of His life? You know, some people got Him going to the Himalayas and talking to the Dalai Lama. Some people got Him going to India, learning under gurus there. The Bible's just so simple. You know what it says? He grew up like everybody else. He obeyed His parents, and He worked. You want to describe the first 30 years of Jesus' life, you can use one word, sweat. For 30 years, He got up at the crack of dawn, He took care of the animals, He went to work probably 10, 11 hours, came back, took care of the animals again, cleaned up a little bit, had something to eat, not very tasty food, and then went to bed to get up the next day to do it again. They say, well, why is that the favorite part of one of your favorite parts of the Bible? Because it speaks to common people like me, people who feel like sometimes maybe we're beating our head against the wall, and sometimes the routine that we live is meaningless. The way that the Son of God comes and lives the same routine